tomorrow must be greater than today.
Shalom, my dear brothers and sisters. Once again, a very warm and cordial welcome to your favorite YouTube channel, The Reason to Smile channel. It has been quite some time, but I hope that all of you have been doing well, even though these are not normal times. But in the middle of this crisis, the good news is this: the curve has started to flatten in most parts of the world, and this indeed is a reason to smile. Nevertheless, as we all collectively struggle our way back to normalcy, I am sure that most of us are definitely haggling and struggling with something unacceptable inside us. And it is in this context that I want to speak to us today about accepting the unacceptable. The COVID-19 pandemic has absolutely, in one way or the other, torn our lives apart, breeding inside us agony and anguish. Generally, suffering can be perceived in two contrasting ways. On one hand, suffering can be perceived as a doorway to an inner awakening, revealing to us that we are indeed greater than the suffering itself. On the other hand, suffering can be seen as a human tragedy, something that demeans the very essence of our lives and that which completely destroys our future. The unpleasant moments of COVID-19 puts us into such a crossroad, either to accept the unpleasant realities of COVID-19, reignite that fighting spirit within us and start working on re-emerging, or to live in denial, fight with the reality, and as is always the case, reality wins. Mine is to urge all of us to accept the unacceptable realities of COVID-19. For this is the only sure, steady step towards rebuilding and healing. This means accepting the new normal, where we will encounter certain days without meals. We will encounter retrenchments, pay cards, unpaid leaves, reallocation into slums and into our villages, accommodation from our friends or well-wishers, and doing certain odd jobs, and even certain things that we never ever imagined about. This is exactly what I mean when I speak about accepting the unacceptable. So all of us who are in one way or the other overburdened by the load of COVID-19, please accept that your lives have changed. Don't run away from this truth, for when you run away, this will prolong your suffering and this will procrastinate your efforts towards dreaming and reawakening. In most cultures, acceptance is for the weak and it is for losers. It is something that we do when we have failed at doing everything else. It is a choiceless choice, a disempowering and depressing end to a battle that is lost. But in reality, acceptance is not an act of failure, but an act of courage and the first step towards success. It is for those who have the strength to accept the reality and to stop denying it. So in the face of our common hardships of COVID-19, let us remember that acceptance is only for today and has nothing to do with our future. Therefore, with hope and with virtue, let us brave the upshots of COVID-19 and let us endure all the storms that may come our way. However, let it be said by our children's children that when we were tested and teared apart by COVID-19 pandemic, we refused to give up and to live in denial. On the contrary, we embraced the agony of COVID-19, and with hard work and with God's grace with us, we reunited and reclaimed our torn society and delivered it safely to the next generation. May God bless us all with willpower, energy, and good health along this progressive path. Amen.
My tomorrow must be greater than today.